Hey y'all, Beth here. I wanted to come to you now with the third series or the third video in a series of videos that I've started about my carnivore lifestyle. So this started back in February. Today is September 4th. So it's been, I think, roughly 7 months, a little bit more, that I've been following what is basically a carnivore lifestyle, meaning that I eat very, very little things that are not meat and meat products or things that have come from animals, such as dairy and eggs. So I've been doing this for health reasons, and there have been some other added benefits, such as weight loss and things that I wasn't really expecting, but I am welcoming into my life. So, such as, okay, let's look. See all this? See all this? These little baby hairs? Yeah. So my hair had started thinning. It's been thinning for a while. Every time I have a telecom effluvium or something like that, I can't remember what it's called, but whenever I'm under stress, I lose hair. Isn't that lovely? So there have been some events in my life fairly recently that caused me to lose my hair. So yay, it's coming back, and it's coming back with a vengeance on carnivore. My nails are growing much better. They're not as rigid and all the kind of things that they were in the past. So I'm really excited about the extra added benefits I've had on carnivore. So the big question, it has been, after I post my videos, what do I actually eat? So this video today is going to answer the question, what do I actually eat? So it's pretty simple. And in the beginning, because I overthink things, I made myself a nice long list on my phone of carnivore foods that I could buy when I went to the grocery store, when I went to Costco or Winn-Dixie or Publix or any of the grocery stores that we have around here. So what am I going to buy? So I made a nice little list. And before I started carnivore, I went out and I got a lot of the stuff that was on my list. So I was ready to go. And so I use that list sometimes, but now it's just second nature. I walk in the grocery store, boom. I walk straight to the meat department. I go straight to the dairy department, and pretty much I leave after that. If I'm at Costco, I get toilet paper and paper towels and all those things that you need to get while you're at Costco. But other than that, for the most part, I go in, I go to the meat section, I go to the dairy section, and I leave. There are just a few processed foods that I'll go down the aisles for. Consistently, I have purchased beef sticks, carnivore beef sticks from Archer Farms. I like those, and I like the ones from Chomps. And I did get the ones from Chomps that have jalapenos in them, so that's not completely carnivore. But still, when you're caught out and you don't have food, or you're at an event and they've brought food in and you can't eat any of it, it's better to have something that's not perfect than something that's terrible. So I have been eating the beef sticks. Another thing I get is pork rinds. Never would have eaten a pork rind before I did carnivore, but I love pork rinds now. So they are, and I try to get the ones that are very, very clean, just pork rinds and salt. The SE Grocers brand from Winn-Dixie is very clean. Also is one called Maps. They are very clean as well, and you can get those on Amazon if you can't find them in your local stores. So those are the two things I've purchased consistently that are processed foods, besides just meat and dairy. Okay, check the ingredients, make sure they're clean, but if you're going to do something like that, try to keep it as clean as possible. Which brings up the question, do I need to eat grass-fed beef? Do I need wild-caught salmon, wild-caught fish, shrimp? Do I need pasture-raised, massaged eggs? All the special things. The answer is no. Just eat meat. Eat the best quality meat you can afford. But it doesn't have to be all those things. Are all those things good? Yes, they are. anytime you can get something that is in its cleanest form possible, that's great. So for instance, with chicken, I would definitely want something that's not fed antibiotics and steroids. Okay, I want to stay away from that. I would like to eat pasture-raised chicken. I would like to eat pasture-raised eggs. And if they're available, I will. But if I go to a restaurant and I'm ordering eggs, I'm not going to sit there and ask them, are their eggs pasture-raised? Because whatever eggs they have are better than the pancakes and waffles that they have on their menu. So choose the best that you can afford. I actually prefer the taste of grain finished meat. I do not like grass-fed, grass-finished beef. It just doesn't taste as good to me. There's something about adding those grains to the end of the cow's life to me that makes that taste a lot more mild. So if I was served it, absolutely, I'm going to eat it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to find grass-fed, grass-finished beef. So that's my thoughts on that. You might find other people that have different thoughts about it. The other thing that it's important to pay attention to is the oils that you cook with. So we changed the way we thought about that once we started carnivore. And so now we cook with a lot of butter and ghee and tallow and bacon grease. I have become my grandmother. I now have a container in my refrigerator of bacon grease. So after I cook the bacon, I pour the grease in there. I strain it usually to get the little porky bits out of it. But yeah, I have bacon grease, and then I'll just use that bacon grease when I'm cooking something else. So change the way you think about fat. The animal fats are not bad for you, okay? The fats that are bad for you are the seed oils. You definitely want to stay away from seed oils. And the problem with that is almost anything that you get in a restaurant is going to be made with seed oils. So those are soybean oil, peanut oil, cottonseed oil, canola oil, corn oil. Those oils are so bad for us, and they are actually the cause of a lot of the problems that people are having with their cardiovascular system. That's not me being a scientist. That's me reporting to you what I have learned in this carnivore journey. So avoid the seed oils, embrace the animal oils. They're yummy. They make you satiated. They make you satisfied. They make your brain work well. They are amazing for you. So eat the oil, stay away from the fake oils. All right. So what do I eat in a day? Let's start out with pre-breakfast. Okay, here I've confessed in previous videos, this is my consistent thing that I did not give up when I went on carnivore, and that is my coffee. And so, but now I don't drink coffee that tastes like dessert. I drink coffee with a little bit of butter in it. In the beginning, I had something called keto creamer that I had purchased, and I had a little bit of that, so I finished that up. Keto creamer has, I think, 1 gram of sugars in it. That's 4 calories from sugar, not a big deal, but it's mostly MCT oil and I don't know what else, maybe some collagen, some stuff like that. So I do drink my coffee in the morning. I either put butter in it or maybe heavy whipping cream because there's very low sugar in that. And I can drink it black now. Didn't used to be able to drink coffee black. I wouldn't have even bothered. So I do drink my coffee, and that usually starts around 5 o'clock in the morning. And then in the beginning of my journey, I was hungry for breakfast consistently. I was breaking my fast around 8 or 9, and we were eating eggs, and more eggs for the most part. So we're accustomed to having eggs in the morning. BJ and I have always had a lot of eggs in the morning, so we continued that. We eat eggs with bacon, we eat eggs with sausage, but I try to find clean sausage that doesn't have a lot of added ingredients, just basically pork and seasonings. We had some venison sausage that was really good that we made like some egg scrambles with, or an egg casserole with eggs and venison sausage and cheddar cheese and a little heavy whipping cream. That was delicious, and made up a casserole one morning, and it lasted for several days. Cut it up into squares. It was great. And we do omelets with Canadian bacon and cheese, but obviously no vegetables in the omelets, just meat omelets. Omelet cups, I would do omelet cups in little muffin cups, and those would last for several days. So that was great. Just heated them up in the toaster oven. My toaster oven is also an air fryer, which is great because I've been able to use it as an air fryer too. Laura Spath on YouTube, she has a great channel. She gave me a recipe one time, was 4 eggs, 1 tablespoon of butter, and bacon crumbles that she went ahead and bought the big bag of bacon crumbles at Costco, and she was using those and threw the bacon crumbles and some shredded cheddar into this casserole, cooked it up, and it was just really, really good. So I do keep a stash of hard-boiled eggs in my refrigerator now. So at the beginning of the week, I'll boil up 6 to 10 eggs and keep them in the refrigerator so that if I want an egg salad, or if I'm just hungry at the last minute, I'm running out the door at 11 o'clock and I haven't broken my fast, I'll grab a hard-boiled egg and take it with me, or a couple. So I am eating more hard-boiled eggs than I ever would have eaten. Another thing I love now that I never liked before carnivore was anything soft boiled, a soft boiled egg or an egg over easy that had a runny yolk. Couldn't stand a runny yolk before. Now I absolutely love a runny yolk. That to me is carnivore gold. It is great for dipping things in. It just tastes creamy and yummy and buttery, and I do love a runny yolk now. So don't judge me. I didn't like them before. I love them now. So that is one thing that has really changed in the way I am eating my food these days. So, and then the other thing to think about with breakfast is you are just breaking your fast. We have been conditioned by the food companies for years and years to think, oh, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. You've got to break your fast with, oh, here's this nice sugary cereal with whole grains, or here's a beautiful bagel that's got seeds on the outside, which makes it healthy. We've been programmed to think we need to break our fast with certain foods. But in reality, breakfast is just breaking your fast. And no matter what time of day you do it, it is still breakfast. Your breakfast can be whatever you had for dinner last night. Your breakfast can be your leftovers from lunch yesterday. Your breakfast can be salmon and shrimp. And oh, I made a shrimp omelet one time that was great. And the day after our anniversary, when I had made lobster the night before, treated ourselves, anniversary. We had filet mignon and lobster. It was delicious, but that lobster made a beautiful omelet the next morning. So try to change the way you think about breakfast. It doesn't have to be breakfast food. It can be anything. So I'm also going to point out that as I went down my carnivore journey, I was no longer hungry in the morning. So I started eating less breakfasty things. If you forgive me for after what I just went through, telling you it's not breakfast, but it is. And I started just waiting till 11:30, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock to eat lunch. So I was breaking my fast at lunchtime because I just wasn't hungry in the morning. That's what happens when you get on this carnivore journey. You just lose it where you're not as hungry anymore in the morning. Okay, so I have a big white dog, and I think she's having a dream. So forgive that noise in the background. So anyway, those are some ideas that I was eating for breakfast. For lunch, I have started to embrace Kelly Hogan's theory of burger patties. There is nothing better to me than just a nice, big, fat 1/3 to 1/2 ounce, or 1/3 to 1/2 pound burger patty. And sometimes I'll break them up into two, but I get the 1.25 pounds organic ground beef at Costco. And I will cut that 1.25 pounds up into four. So you're getting a little bit more than 1/4 pound in each patty. Pat them out and fry them in the frying pan. Yes, it makes a mess. I've got a little splatter thing that I put on top of it now, but I love a burger patty. And I just got used to making them with just salt. Redmond's Real Salt, and Redmond's Real Salt makes a smoked flavored chef's blend Redmond's Real Salt, which is especially good on those burger patties. So I've eaten a lot of hamburger at lunchtime. I'll put on top of that an egg over easy, a little bit of bacon, maybe some cheese if I have it. I've had some Havarti cheese that's really good, or some sharp cheddar or some Swiss. So I like a little cheese on my burger and bacon and eggs. And by the way, that has also become my go-to order when I eat out. I can go almost anywhere. And if there's nothing else on the menu that I can eat, I can normally get a burger patty with bacon, a soft-boiled egg, and cheese. It's on almost everybody's menu. So, or they can whip it up for me, so it's not a problem. What else for lunch? Let's see, chicken wings. Done some chicken wings, and I didn't in the beginning. Remember, I was very pure in the beginning, but lately, Primal Kitchen has a wing sauce, a buffalo wing sauce that's really good, and I've put some of that on my chicken wings. Of course, now you're not frying these chicken wings in seed oils, so you normally can't get them if you're getting them out because they're going to be dropping those things in seed oils. So I don't do that. If I go out and I order chicken wings, I get them grilled. And where we go, one place, they say, run it through the salamander. Tell them to run it through the salamander, and that makes it crispy on the outside. And then I'll take a little bit of buffalo sauce on the side and blue cheese dressing, carnivore. It's good. So blue cheese, a little bit of buffalo, and if I'm at home, I use the Primal Kitchen buffalo sauce, which is really, really clean. We made these delicious chicken tenders one time. We've made them more than once now. So we cut the chicken up. I actually didn't buy tenders, more expensive that way. I got chicken breasts, clean as I could get, and sliced them up into like tender shapes, dipped them in egg, uh, scrambled egg, and pork rinds, pork rind panko. Hold on. Pork panko. Who knew? Okay. These are just crushed up pork rinds, and I don't mind. I'm not sponsored. Maybe someday. I'm not sponsored, but this is delicious, and this makes the best fried anything. So we've used this to fry these chicken fingers, and like I said, okay, so they had bacon, pork rinds, and shredded cheese. Dipped it in the egg, dipped it in that mixture, fried it in tallow, and oh, so delicious. And then stuck them in the oven to finish up. So pork panko, my new best friend. Love it. We use the pork panko to also make something that's like a chicken parmesan. So we grate our own parmesan because we don't want the stuff that's already grated. Guess what it has in it? Cellulose. You know what cellulose is? Sawdust. Don't be needing sawdust. So we shred our own parmesan now. We'll make a little chicken parm. We'll put a little marinara sauce on the side, an organic marinara. My husband eats a lot of it. I just little tiny bits. Okay, my body can tolerate it. In the beginning, I did not. I would just eat the chicken, no marinara. So that's one of the few things that I've added into my world again, just in small amounts, and it doesn't seem to be affecting me as far as my inflammation. Meat roll-ups. So I went to Publix is where we get our boar's head meat, and I would buy really good quality turkey roast beef, not ham as much. It's a little bit not as clean, but I would have them slice it thick. And I would do a slice of cheese, turkey, roast beef, do a little roll up, and that was delicious. I did that for lunch a little bit. I love the 100% grass-fed beef Teton hot dogs. Those are really good. Now when I eat them, I usually add a little sauerkraut. I like the wild brine sauerkraut. It only has 5 grams of carbs. So, no, 5 calories from carbs. That's 1 gram of carbs in a serving of sauerkraut. And I was raised that way. I was raised with the sauerkraut, man. I love me some sauerkraut with some pork. I like it with the pork tenderloin. And I actually like the taste of it. And cabbage, as things go, are lower in toxins than some of the other vegetables. And when you ferment the vegetables like they do for sauerkraut, especially the wild brine that's not pasteurized, you get a lot of added benefits from that. So sauerkraut has been something that's been on my list lately, but was not in the beginning. Other than that, again, anything you would eat for breakfast or lunch, I mean, breakfast or dinner you can have for lunch. I've made some chicken salad. When I did chicken salad in the beginning, I did it with hard-boiled eggs, canned chicken, and sour cream and salt. And then, so now I use a little bit of avocado mayonnaise in my chicken salad. I seem to be tolerating that. That's really good. There's several brands of good avocado mayonnaise. Chosen is the one that I currently have. Primal Kitchen also makes one. We've eaten kielbasa. I've made taco bowls. That's really good. That's just ground beef and some homemade taco seasoning. I do the homemade taco seasoning. I don't want the packaged taco seasoning because it usually has cornstarch or some kind of thickener in it. So that's not good, but I will put a few little spices like chili sauce, chili powder, and not chili sauce, chili powder, cumin, and maybe a little garlic. I did not do as much of that in the beginning, but I'm doing a little bit of that now. So taco bowls are good. And then on top of that, you put some cheddar cheese and some sour cream, and that's really yummy. And then for dinner, I told y'all one of the other videos, our standard is meat with a side of meat and dairy as a condiment. So I love the new growth. I just can't help but see it every once in a while. So ribeyes, lots and lots of ribeyes. We're buying the ribeye at the Costco in the whole roast, the big roast, $213 worth of meat, big old slab of meat, right? They look at you sideways when you walk out with that. And then we bring it home and we cut it up into individual steaks. And then we put 2 steaks in a bag. And that is a day and a half's worth of dinner because usually I can't finish a steak. In the beginning, I was finishing a whole steak, but now I can't unless it's sliced really thin. So, ribeye and shrimp, that is a very typical meal for us. Okay, and you're sitting there thinking, that's expensive. Well, no, it's not. Why is it not expensive? Because those ribeyes, I did the math, are $17 a piece. And that's it. The shrimp, buy them in the big bag. I try to get the ones that are wild caught. They don't taste as good as the ones that are farm raised. They really don't. But if I have the farm raised ones, that's fine too. But we'll eat 6 shrimp, 1 ribeye. I'm talking maybe $20 for the dinner. Now, when I was buying vegetables and desserts and drinks and all the other stuff, I was spending a lot more than that on a meal. So it's really not as expensive as you would think it is. Carnivore to me has been considerably less expensive than what we were ever spending on our meal plans before. So we did bacon wrapped beef tips. Those were really good. So again, I got the big tenderloin, beef tenderloin. And after we cut it up into individual steaks, we had some little pieces left over. We wrapped them up in bacon, cooked them on the grill. So yummy. So that's meat with a side of meat. Baby back ribs and shrimp on the Barbie. We did that a few times. Pork tenderloin wrapped in bacon. salmon with just the Redmond's real salt. My husband put a little pepper on his side, but I got used to having salmon with just salt, and that's delicious. Now, a couple times lately, we've made salmon with maybe a lemon butter caper sauce or a pesto sauce or something that's adding a little bit more in there besides just the meat, but still not adding a lot of carbs. Meatballs, love me some meatballs. I will mix the beef and a ground up pork with the pork panko and some Parmesan cheese, make some meatballs, fry them in the ghee or tallow, and then stick them in the oven to finish. So yummy. May or may not put a little marinara with that now, didn't in the beginning, but my husband did, and he got used to doing his meatballs that way. Instead of smothering them in marinara and putting them on top of pasta, he would just eat his meatball and dip it in a little marinara. So yummy. We have done meatballs like a meatball, what do you call it? Stroganoff, with a sour cream and heavy whipping cream, maybe a little bit of cream cheese sauce in there with some Worcester. That makes a really good, like a Swedish meatball that's delicious. Um, we have our favorite chicken parm. I think I already mentioned that. It's the chicken and then the dip it in the egg and then the pork panko with the Parmesan, and we fry it in the tallow or ghee. I really like that fried in ghee. That's really yummy. It adds that buttery flavor to it. And then we stick it in the oven to finish. That's our little chicken parm that we do. We've done a little chicken Alfredo. So that's chicken with the heavy whipping cream and some Parmesan mixed up, make a nice little thick sauce. That's yummy. We've done some chuck roasts. Now my husband will tell you the chuck roasts have been lacking because it's just roast, just the beef in the crock pot all day long with the water and the salt, a little bit of pepper now. And a couple times I would throw in the carrots and potatoes at the end for my husband, and he would eat the potatoes and carrots, but I would not. I would only eat the roast and the au jus, really yummy. Never liked a chuck roast before, like it now. But my husband will still tell you that the chuck roast needs to have fried okra and black eyed peas with it. We haven't had any of that in a very, very long time. So he misses his fried okra and black eyed peas that he likes with his chuck roast. We've done little shrimp cocktails. I like to get the royal red shrimps, and then instead of dipping them in a cocktail sauce, we dip them in the melted ghee, which is yummy. We have done cocktail sauce a couple times, and I'm using the Primal Kitchen low sugar unsweetened ketchup for that. And we've done that lately, but we did not do that in the beginning when we were clean. So I don't mind that Primal Kitchen unsweetened ketchup. My husband likes it just as well as regular ketchup now. He's gotten used to it. So that's basically a day in the life. I mean, it's really simple. This is the simplest nutrition plan I have ever been on. It's really simple. If it is meat or dairy, you can eat it. If it's an egg, you can eat it. There have been a few non-carnivore foods since my first 90 days that I have chosen to leave in my diet. I don't consider it a cheat. Remember, I told y'all that in another video. It's not cheating, it's a choice. The choices I have made are the sauerkraut, some dill pickles, not sweet pickles. Sweet pickles have sugar, but the Grillo's dill pickles are really yummy, and they will make a hot dog or a burger taste even better. The avocado mayonnaise is something that I have chosen to leave in my diet. And then a little bit of organic marinara, really careful to choose organic so that I don't get any extra toxins with that. And then the other things is I have had a few berries, raspberries, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries. I do like berries, and I'm not eating a lot of them though. Like I had 3 strawberries about 5 days ago, and that's the last time I had a berry. And here's another thing. I am a moderator. I am the kind of person who can have a few berries and walk away. Now, there are people who have more trouble moderating, especially sugar, that if they were to have a few strawberries, then they would think, oh, well, I need more strawberries. And oh, why don't I just go and put this on some ice cream? And oh, now that I've had some ice cream, let me have some cake to go with that. And oh, I ruined it. So tomorrow I'll have cookies and then I'll start back on Monday. That's not my personality. I can eat 3 strawberries and walk away and not feel like I need more. Okay. So if that is your personality, then I would suggest if you are trying to kick some diseases, some health problems to the curb, that you just avoid those altogether until you know that you can tolerate having 1 or 2 and you won't go into the carb ditch, as Dr. Lisa says. So, drinking, a little bit different. This is a Topo Chico. That is a carbonated mineral water that I like. I do a little bit of Pellegrino. The Element, LMNT electrolytes, I do those in the flavors, and sometimes I'll add a little bit of that to my carbonated water. Sometimes I'll add it to my drink when I'm going to play tennis. But it's very, very strong. So it doesn't take a whole packet. It just takes a little bit for me. And that gives me a little added electrolytes. At night, I might drink some Calm. Calm is a magnesium supplement, and it does have some flavoring to it. It doesn't seem to trigger me or anything. And the magnesium helps to relax you and get you ready for bed. I have added a little bit of lime or lemon. If I go out now and I'm partying, sometimes you just want to have a drink in your hand. And so my drink of choice now is club soda with lime. I tell them I want a club soda with lime and I want you to make it look like a gin and tonic. So I'll hold that all night long. Um, I have not hidden the fact that I still drink a glass of wine every once in a while. That is something that I'll do every once in a while, and that's my choice. I'm not telling you to do it. Don't. If you have a problem with it, just don't. But I seem to be able to moderate that just fine now. So, I think that's it for now. I'm here to tell you, I'm not hungry. I feel good. My joints don't hurt. My shoulder, my hip, my knees, my ankles, my bunions don't hurt. My neck isn't crunchy. I feel good. I'm sleeping good. I'm not hungry. I don't feel deprived. I can walk into a party and look at the cookies and look at the cake and look at all the fancy things that are made with all the carbs, and it doesn't tempt me whatsoever. I don't want it. So I want this for you. I want you to feel healthy. I want the people that I love to be the best that they can be. I want them to all live long lives, because if I'm going to live to be 100 so I can dance at my great-grandchildren's wedding, I want all of you there with me. So if you have any questions, as always, I am here to answer them for you. Let me know. And thank you for listening. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.